Hi, everybody, and welcome here to the Stay Tuned Sports Pick segment for Week 2 here in the NFL. My name is King. There's your good friend Jimbo. Say hi, Jimbo.
What's up, guys?
We're in that shitty jersey. Actually, I was going to say a shitty jersey. It's actually a nice jersey. I like the Kelly greens. You like the Kelly greens.
And I'm wearing Kelsey in honor of his documentary coming out today. Can't wait to watch it.
Oh, you got to take it. Hey, listen, from what I heard, his brother's nailing Taylor Swift, so...
And according to Chris Jones, he only signed because of Kelsey, because Kelsey get tickets to the Taylor Swift concerts now.
Ah, look at that. See? So it's all everything in this world apparently is through Taylor Swift. There's one thing I've learned from my fiance. It's that everything, in one way or another, is connected to Taylor. It's almost like 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. It's now 6 degrees of Taylor Swift. And by the way, listen, getting to nail Taylor Swift, we all would. So, I mean, good for he shot his shot. He gave the bracelet with his number on it or whatever, so, hey, kudos to you.
I just hope they last till the Super Bowl and it's the Eagles against Kansas City, so he will not play because he doesn't want to piss her off.
He hyperextended his knee.
Maybe.
Because they said it wasn't a football injury. They said it was fine the one day and then not the next before, like maybe he was doing a little, Kama Sutra stuff and can't be doing that. I know he's trying to be impressive. You got to impress her. Like it is Taylor Swift. Let's be honest. But
yeah.
Can't be. Anyway, enough about that. Let's get into the NFL picks. We already picked the Thursday game, and that would be the Minnesota Vikings, Philadelphia Eagles. You surprisingly picked the Minnesota Vikings at +6.5. I picked the Eagles at -6.5. So that is out of the way. Next game is Green Bay and Atlanta. This was your second game that you picked.
Yes.
You picked Green Bay.
Yes.
Giving 1.5 down in Atlanta. It's a close game, kind of a pick 'em game, clearly by the point spread there. I will give it to the home team. I'll go with Atlanta, but I think Green Bay is better than I think a lot of people think. I think Jordan Love is actually pretty good. I think Jordan Love's pretty good. So I will give it to Atlanta, but I may, depending on what Green Bay does in this game, I may end up jumping on that Green Bay bandwagon. I think that's a team to watch, as they say. Next game we have is the Chicago Bears at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay giving 2.5. They're favored at home by 2.5.
Yeah.
Jimbo, who you got and why?
I'm gonna go with Tampa Bay. I don't think Chicago is as good as they were last year. There's some talk of Chase Claypool possibly being deactivated because of his play. And if all they have is Justin Fields, just put a spy on him and just contain him as best as you can. And looks like Baker's having fun out there. I mean, well, I don't know if you saw the video. He said at the end of the game, we won, guys, so now we got to have a group hug in the showers. Typical Baker.
He had a couple of good ones. He had a couple of good ones. I think he had one where he had a run for about 5 yards. He went out of bounds and he kind of stiff-armed a guy. And he was like, "Get your fucking weight up."
Oh, yeah.
Come at me. Get your weight up. And I was like, well, Baker's being Baker. Baker's starting to feel it again.
Yeah.
So I agree. The Bears right now, all they have is Justin Fields.
Yeah.
And Buccaneers at home. The Bears have given me nothing to say, oh, the Bears can do something. Until the Bears do something, I don't think the Bears can do anything. So I'm with you. I'm going to go with the Buccaneers with the -2.5 going into that game. Okay. Next game is the Seattle Seahawks at the Detroit Lions. The Lions, 4.5-point favorites at Ford Field at home. Jimbo, who you got and why?
I'm going Detroit. I believe in Detroit this year. I mean, I believed them in them last year too. But
I believe in Detroit.
You see, and this game I think is going to make the question come out: was Seattle a one-year wonder? If they get blown out by Detroit, were they a one-year wonder? But I think Detroit is. I think they're going to win it and cover the spread.
Yeah, I don't think there's a question about this one. I like Seattle. I like the story of Geno Smith and what they did last year. But they were at home and got smoked by the Rams. Now they're on the road at Detroit, who is starting to feel themselves. Detroit is starting to feel it. So with all that being said, yeah, I think it's Detroit. And I think they'll win by more than 4.5. I think that is. What's the over-under on that game? That's over-under is 47.5. Might go with the under on that one.
I was going to say I'd probably do the same.
But okay, next game is one I picked as my second game. That would be the Raiders at the Bills. The Bills, 8.5-point favorites. I picked the Raiders. Who do you got, Jimbo?
I am taking the Bills. I just think there's so much.
Fred?
Yeah, because there's so much drama going on. There's more drama going on with the Raiders than there is with the Bills. And I think, yeah, come on, they're calling cops to players' houses because of text messages.
They still won. They won. They still won the game.
Over the Broncos. And the Bills aren't the Broncos. And the Bills
aren't the Broncos, but like I said, the Bills may win the game. Are they going to win it by 8.5? The Bills have to win that game by 9.
Yeah. No, I know how it goes. This might be my throwaway game. Get it out of the way now.
I understand the premise, King. I understand it. If Josh Allen doesn't throw a million picks, maybe. But there's again nothing that's happened that tells me that Josh Allen can't throw a million picks in a game. So interesting. Well, that's another one we're going to be. We'll see. Again, I was 10-6. That's all I'm saying. I was 10-6. So now the next game we have up, that would be the Los Angeles Chargers. They are at the Tennessee Titans. Los Angeles on the road, favored by 3 at Tennessee. Is Tennessee getting disrespect? I don't know. Jimbo, who do you got and why?
I'm going with the Chargers. I'll take the -3. The points that they put up last week, granted, it was Miami. I think the over-under was cleared by halftime. Yes, Tennessee has Derrick Henry. Maybe they could control the ball and keep that offense off the field, but I think the Chargers are going to win and cover the spread.
I like Tennessee. I do like Tennessee, and I do like Derrick Henry. I like Vrabel as a coach. They are at home. They're usually good coming off of a loss. That Chargers offense is a different beast, though. If they can get 1 or 2 stops against Tennessee, and here's the other thing too: Tannehill has not played up to his potential that he has in the last couple of years. When they were number 1 seed a couple of years ago and got shocked by the Bengals in the playoffs, when people thought that was a Super Bowl year for them. Tannehill needs to play better.
Yeah.
And until he plays better, I agree with you. I'm going to go ahead with the Chargers on that one. Favored on the road by 3. I will still take the Chargers on that one. So then what do we have after that game? That is, we have the Colts and the Texans. They are at Houston. Houston favored by 1.5. 2 teams here kind of rebuilding, 2 rookie quarterbacks. Jimbo, who you got and why?
I'm going to go Houston. Probably not going to watch this game because this game might be a little ugly, but I think Houston has a couple more players than the Colts. Colts just have the rookie quarterback. I don't think they, have anybody else really to step up for them. Whereas, Houston has CJ Stroud, who was his tight. Did he throw the touchdown to the tight end that threw the ball up into his first touchdown up into the stands, or was that Carolina?
I can't remember exactly.
But either way, though, I think Houston's defense is going to be good. So I'm going Houston -1.5.
Righty. I will go with Indianapolis. I think right now, again, it's six in one hand, half dozen in the other. Who's
Yeah,
worse than who?
basically.
Uh, I think Anthony Richardson right now is a more dynamic and better quarterback than CJ Stroud is. And maybe the team itself is maybe a little bit better. I don't know why I feel something more with Indianapolis than I did with Houston, but I
Okay.
do. So again, it's a 1.5 point spread. So not really. It's kind of a pick 'em anyway. If you're going to pick, a lot of people would stay away from this game. I personally, if I'm betting money, I would stay away from this game, but that's not how this works here on the show because this isn't for money. This is for entertainment purposes only. So,
Exactly.
with that being said, I will go with Indianapolis. The over under in that, by the way, is
Oof.
39 and a
I
half.
just saw that.
So, if that's any indication, just to let you know.
Yeah.
Um, Next game is this is one you picked, right?
Yes.
This is
And
Baltimore at Cincinnati. Cincinnati favored by 3. You picked the Ravens, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
yes.
And I gave you a look. Well, not really gave you a look because it was on the podcast. So I kind of
But I could feel
mumbled.
the yeah, I could feel the
I
look.
mumbled to the like, really? I don't know. Yeah, I'm going the opposite way on this one. I think Cincinnati wins this one. They're at home. They cannot lose 2 division games in a row. Um, whatever was going on in that first game against Cleveland, they need to fix and fix immediately. Um, Baltimore again. It's hard for me to be sold on Baltimore, but hey, listen, if Baltimore wins this game at Cincinnati and does so pretty handily, I think we're going to have to start believing in Baltimore, or I'm going to have to start believing in Baltimore anyway. But I still will go with Cincinnati to have a bounce back game, rebound game. I truly do believe that is um, something that they can do. So I will go ahead, whereas you took Baltimore, who is getting the 3. I will take Cincinnati, who is giving it, and we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Next game, Kansas City Chiefs at Jacksonville Jaguars. Chiefs favored by 3.5 on the road. Chiefs coming off that opening night loss. They had a couple extra days there with it being the Thursday night game. Jimbo, you got and why?
Something tells me to take Jacksonville, but I don't know
It's
why.
tempting.
Because
Jacksonville's tempting.
doesn't Jacksonville have their number past couple
They,
of
they,
games?
they kind of do, and they almost beat them at Arrowhead during the divisional playoffs last year. Like they're the ones that injured Mahomes. They're the one that gave him that high ankle
Okay.
sprain that
Yeah.
he had to play with. But they hung with them until the fourth quarter. Jacksonville was in that game.
I'm going Jacksonville. I think Dougie P.
Wow,
I
taking the
think
big.
Dougie P has their number. How about the over under 51.5 points? Holy shit.
I can see that. I can see that with the 2 offenses. I
Yeah.
can see that.
So Jacksonville plus 3.5.
It's tempting. It's tempting because 3.5. Because even that hook makes a difference.
Yeah.
Because if Kansas City wins by 3, you still win your bet. You know what I mean? So that hook makes a difference, and it gives me pause. It makes me think maybe, but then I think Travis Kelce is back. He's going to be feeling pretty good after nailing Taylor Swift a couple times. You got Chris Jones back. That defense is probably going to be a little bit better. So yeah, you have Patrick Mahomes' safety valve there with Kelce back. You have Chris Jones back. You're coming off that loss. You're not feeling great about yourself. You want to prove yourself as still being the Chiefs is the Chiefs against an up and coming team, which a lot of people, again, like yourself, are saying, kind of feel them a little bit more. I think this is a place where the Chiefs have to win. Kind of like how I said Cincinnati has to win.
Yeah.
I think this is the case where Kansas City has to win, and I think they will. I will go Cincinnati, giving the 3.5 down there in Jacksonville.
Okay.
Next game is one that I picked during the show. That would be the San Francisco 49ers at the Los Angeles Rams. Niners favored by 7 at LA, which is basically Levi South whenever San Francisco plays there. Jimbo, I picked the San Francisco 49ers. Who do you got and why?
We'll make this quick. The 49ers, that team, like you said, them going up against the Steelers, just cut through them like butter. And even though I said I'm not saying they're great, but they're a good team, very good team. I think we're going to see the same type of outcome this week. So San Fran -7.
As good as Los Angeles looked in Seattle, and as many games as and I think they'll win a couple games this year more than people think they would. I am convinced that San Francisco is on a different level from almost every other team in the NFL right now. I really do. So again, I agree with you, San Francisco. Given a 7. The next game.
Oh, I see you got the hockey hat ready for week 3.
Well, the Devil's hat's always there. It was there last week. It's going to be there forever. Devil's hat's there. The Giants, some fucking how, favored by 4.5 at Arizona. As bad as everybody thinks Arizona is, did anybody watch that fucking game on Sunday night? Did everybody see the Giants season crumble right before everybody's eyes like I did? I know. Listen, the Giants have to win this game.
Yes.
The season's over. Don't get me wrong. We're not going to playoffs. We're not doing anything. We're going to be of no consequence in the season to any other team whatsoever. I get it. I understand. Fine. Whatever. That being said, they have to win this game because Arizona is literally they're a Vanderbilt right now. They're not. They're a Northwestern.
Yeah.
They're that kind of level of like if the NFL is the Big Ten, Arizona is Northwestern. You have to be able to beat them. Even if you're not great, you should be able to beat them. They're on the road. They're getting 4.5 points. They're giving 4.5 points. Sorry. Against my better judgment, I will pick the Giants. Jimbo, who do you got and why?
Sad part is I so want to pick Arizona just to have it go through and be able to bust on you even more.
You can't hurt me more than I've already hurt myself or that the Giants have hurt me. You can't do it. So you're not going to be needling me or making me feel bad. You can't make me feel any worse than I already do.
So if Arizona wins 40-0,
my heart has already been crushed. Dude, I can't. Dude, when I tell you that on Monday, I was dead to the world, and maybe it was some other stuff, maybe it's other factors, I don't know. But I was literally no phone calls. I was on the couch all day, like literally I was a zombie. And I can tell you for a fact, if the Giants had won on Sunday, I would not have been that way. And I shouldn't let a football team affect my mental health the way I do. But I will tell you what, it was such a horrendous event that it just absolutely crushed my soul. There is nothing you can do that can match what the Giants already did to me.
So with that being said, as long as Brian Dable doesn't have no birthday parties or anything again, the Giants are going to pull this out.
Michael Kay tried to throw him under the bus.
Dude, that was so funny.
He's having parties while the Giants are sitting here. They kick it in together. He's throwing parties for his 6-year-old. He had to come out and apologize. Oh, God. I love that. That's funny.
So Giants -4.5 for me.
Yeah, we'll see. And then we go down to Dallas and the other New York team, the Jets at the Cowboys. Cowboys favored by 9.5.
That's it.
I mean, Jimbo, who you got and why?
Like I know I profess my running the train bandwagon, whatever you want to call it, for Zach Wilson, but
you're running a train on Zach Wilson? That's a completely different thing. That's a different thing than you're mixing metaphors here, and one of them is not a good one.
I added bandwagon onto it, okay?
You tried to save it. You might have made it worse.
So I'm just gonna pick and get out of here. Dallas Cowboys, let's be honest.
That's probably the best way to go about it. That's a big point spread. The Jets defense is still a good defense. And the Cowboys are still iffy on their offense. So will the Jets score a lot of points? Probably not, but I don't think Dallas will either. What's the over-under in that is 38.5. And I think that's right, because I think with both of those defenses, there's not going to be a lot of scoring. So with that being said, I think Dallas wins, but they are not going to win by more than 9.5. So I will go with the Jets. I wouldn't pick the Jets outright to win.
Okay.
If you want to go ahead and do that, be my guest.
Hmm.
I'm not advising it. But with the points, the Jets getting 9.5 points, I will take the Jets on now.
All right.
All righty. So next game is the Washington football team of Redskin Commanders. They are at the Denver Broncos. Broncos favored by 3.5. Jimbo, does that make sense? Doesn't to me. Who do you got and why?
I'm going with Washington. Well, I mean, they
No,
almost lost.
don't do that.
They,
Don't
they
do
almost
that.
lost to Arizona, but you know what? No, I'll stick with I'll stick with Washington, even though they almost lost to Arizona. I think for most of that game they were losing just by a couple points, and then towards the end there they pulled out the win. But yeah, I'll go Washington plus 3.5.
Denver lost to the Raiders at home. I know you said you're not big on the Raiders, and you think that, because they had the whole Chandler Jones situation and everything like that going on. I get that. But with that being the case, going into Denver and winning, Washington now be a team that has exercised the demons of Dan Snyder. They had a sellout crowd at home
Yeah.
at Poop Plaza Stadium there. They did win, even if they did struggle a little bit against Arizona. But again, I think any win in the NFL is a win. Sam Howell is, I think, a guy. I really do think he's a guy. So I'm going to go with that. Washington getting 3.5 points. I will go with Washington. Even if Washington loses, they're not going to lose by more than a field goal. I don't feel. That's what I feel.
Yeah.
It's just what I feel. Again, entertainment purposes only. So, but that's what I
Exactly.
feel. I will go with the Washington football team of Redskin Commanders. You pick Denver in that game. Let's move on. Let's go on. Miami Dolphins at New England Patriots. Dolphins favored by 3. Jimbo, who do you got and why?
Oh, Miami. I think actually this is a little too low, this spread. I would even say like a -7 Miami should get. Um, I don't think New England is as good as they showed on Sunday. I think they're good, and that's what I'm saying about my team. But obviously
Here,
all year Miami's going to be putting up points. It's just a matter. I just don't think Mac Jones and that Patriots team could keep up with them.
if there's something I learned in watching both those games, both the Patriots and Eagles and Chargers and Dolphins, is that yes, the Dolphins can put up a lot of points, but they get a lot of points put up on them. Now, is New England's offense the same as Justin Herbert and the Chargers? No.
No.
Do I think the Dolphins will win? Yes. Do I think it'll be a blowout? No. And I think that's the difference. If this would have been the first game of the year, I would have picked the Dolphins to blow out New England. The
Okay.
same way I picked Philly to blow them out. I think having Bill O'Brien there with Mac Jones has helped more than I think a lot of people even thought it would. People thought he would be better,
Yeah.
but I think it's actually done more than we thought. So, does New England have a chance to win the game? Any given Sunday, I think any team can win. I will go with Miami, though. Even giving the 3 points there at New England, I will give it to Miami. I think we both picked Miami in that one. Again, I think they're too powerful offensively, but I think New England can hang with them. I don't think it'll be a blowout. I think New England can hang with them.
All right.
Next game is Saints at Panthers. Saints favored by 3 on the road against Carolina. Jimbo, who you got and why?
I think this might be a game of another game I'm not going to watch. I'm going to go Saints. I'll take the -3. Yeah, I just got nothing. I'm just shooting a shot here, blind shot. So.
I New Orleans, I think, is better than Atlanta. And even though Carolina gave Atlanta some fits, I think New Orleans overall, I think, is a better team. I'll pick New Orleans in that one. It's going to be hard to pick Carolina in any of these games
Yeah.
going forward in the season, unless they show something. In which case, hey, listen, everything can change. But yeah, I'm going to go with New Orleans on that one. That's a Sunday night game. Oh wow, look at that. We're almost done.
Yeah.
Now we're on a Monday night, last game of the week. I surprised myself. I thought we had more games. Look at that. We have the Cleveland Browns going into Heinz Field. It will always be Heinz Field. It's never Acrisure. I don't even know what fucking Acrisure is, but it can Acrisure get the hell out of here. Cleveland Browns favored by 2.5 over the Steelers at Heinz Field. Jimbo for Monday night. Who do you got? And more importantly, why?
I'm gonna go Pittsburgh, plus 2.5. Kind of same thing that you're saying with Philly and Minnesota. They're at home. It's a night game. Those fans are gonna be riled up and everything like that. I don't think Pittsburgh is as bad as they looked last week.
They're not.
So I think they're gonna pull out the win.
I had this argument with my father earlier in the day. He's convinced that Pittsburgh is better than they are, and he's not convinced that Cleveland's as good as they are. I am convinced that Cleveland has a top 5 NFL defense, maybe top 3. I think that's an argument you can make. For now, we'll see how it goes. And I think if Deshaun Watson plays like he did on this first Sunday and plays like Deshaun Watson of 2 and 3 years ago, Pittsburgh, this is a must-win for Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has to win this game. They can't drop 2 games at home to start off 0-2, and both of those games being at home. There's going to be a cause for concern. And I like Pittsburgh's defense. But what a stamp that the Browns can make on the AFC North if their first 2 games are beating the Cincinnati Bengals, not just beating them, but stomping them.
Yeah.
And then going on the road and beating your most hated rival at their place and being 2-0, 2-0 in the division, and really taking a stranglehold of the AFC North.
Yeah.
They have a chance to do that. And if they do, I think you're going to start seeing a lot more people look at the Browns and take them a little bit more seriously. For now, I'm a believer in the Browns. So I'm going to pick the Browns. They're, again, favored by 2.5. I think they'll win by at least a field goal. I think they'll, honestly, if I'm going to be honest, I think they'll win by more than that. I'm not going to say Browns by a billion. I'm not saying billions anymore. It's just the Eagles have taught me that. But I'm going to go with the Browns. I'm picking the Browns there on Monday night. So there it is then.
All right.
That's all 16 games there. We have picked for you. Go ahead, look at them, be entertained by them, because that's all it's for. It's for entertainment purposes only. Even though I was 10-6, clearly the better record than Jimbo. And so if I had decided to place legal wagers in a legal state like New Jersey or Pennsylvania, I would have had some money to work with there. But we're not telling you to do that. Why? Because this is for entertainment purposes only. Jimbo, is there anything else we need to cover or go over here?
Well, you said about entertainment purposes. After all the games are done, come back and rewatch the video, and you can laugh at us picking all the wrong ones.
Oh, I forgot about that. That people can come back and look at this video and absolutely roast us.
And actually, if you click the like button, it saves it, on one of the tabs there, and you don't have to worry about scrolling and looking for us or anything like that. You just go right to your likes, and we're right there, and you can start laughing your ass off.
Oh yeah, we got to say, smash that like button,
subscribe,
and hit the notification bell, which would be nice. It would be nice if you did that, because again, this is happening all year. Click all that stuff. You'll be notified as soon as it goes up, and you'll know what we picked and how bad we were, and if you should listen to any of us. I'm going to tell you right now, It's probably never a good idea to listen to Jimbo. And me, I think it depends on week to week. We'll see. We'll see how the rest of the season goes. I'm no great prognosticator, but again, for entertainment purposes only. But I want to thank you so much for coming here, watching us, going along with the picks with us. For my good friend Jimbo, I am King, and this has been Stay Tuned Sports.
Looks like you got balls in your mouth.
Bully, bully, bully.
Good.
I guess. I don't know.